communications from an extraterrestrial, but that didn't last too long. Later I decided it was my right brain talking to my left brain. Or at least that's what I say when I'm speaking to scientific groups. To me, the metaphors, the explanations don't matter. What matters is the ability to change your consciousness.
Do you still find Crowley cogent for you personally?
Yeah, but there's a lot of infighting in the among Crowleyans, which I don't want to get involved in. So I tend to avoid getting too close to the organized thelemic movements because they're all denouncing one another currently as frauds. One of them is even claiming another has actually been taken over by Scientology. I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't. Paranoia is epidemic in the occult world. I once asked Israel Rigardi, who was a psychotherapist.
And also the author of Eye in the Triangle, right?
Yeah, that's right. He was also Crowley's secretary back in the 20s. I asked him why paranoia is so common among occult circles. He said, well, they activate the forehead chakra before they activate the heart chakra, which any Hindu will tell you is a dangerous thing to do. So they start developing strange powers and psychic abilities and weird insights and whatnot, but they haven't opened the heart, so they don't have enough love to deal with this, and it all turns into terrifying demon images which they project on other occultists. I think that makes perfect sense to me. I did a lot of heart chakra work before I did any of the Ajna chakra.
In the Sufi tradition? Or?
Yeah, yeah. One of my daydreams is to have a convention with Sufis, Subgenii, and E.J. Gould's crowd, and the OTO, the Crowley, the Thelemic group. The Sufi symbol is the heart with wings. Crowley's symbol is an empty circle with wings, like the empty circle in Zen Buddhism. And E.J. Gould's symbol is Gurdjieff's Enneagram with wings, and the Subgenius symbol is a watch with a knife through it with wings, which represents slack. And Clint Eastwood, I sometimes suspect, is a subgenius because in the Eiger Sanction, there's a scene in which he cries with great sincerity, "Give me slack!" And I can't be a coincidence, can it? Or am I putting you on now? And will Clint ever hear this, and what will he think if he does?
So, Bob, you, in your writings, have addressed so many different areas and so many different issues. What do you think unites all your work?
Ezra Pound was asked to contribute to a magazine honoring Wyndham Lewis after his death. And Pound liked to write brief, terse things quite frequently. Sometimes he wrote longer things like the cantos, but he liked to write brief things. And for the Wyndham Lewis Memorial, he wrote, "I still treasure Wyndham Lewis, the man who was wrong about everything except the superiority of live mind to dead mind, for which he should live forever." I'm not sure I got that quote exactly right, but I got it basically right. And that's my basic thing, is live mind versus dead mind. Live, inquiring, curious, uncertain, tentative mind versus dogmatic, closed, frozen, constipated mind. That's what ties all my interests together.
So curiosity.
Curiosity, yeah, which allegedly killed a cat once. It hasn't killed me yet. Although some people think it has. Have you heard about the Robert Anton Wilson android?
Isn't that who I'm speaking with now?
Well, some people think so. Back around 94, somebody put a fake news story online, allegedly from the Los Angeles Times, claiming I died of a heart attack. And there was a lot of argument about whether this was true or it was a hoax. And then people who spoken to me on the phone wrote, "I've spoken to Wilson and he is still alive." And then there were the hoax ones that said they contacted me at my home in Hoath Castle. I live near Hoath Castle, but I never lived in Hoath Castle. And I said, I'm not, the reports of my death have been exaggerated. This guy was lifting that from Mark Twain. But then he added a line that really does sound like me. I still totter about a bit and can crack a weak joke now and then. And then somebody else came back with all the people who claimed to have met me or talked to me on the phone. Since my death, they were all deceived. The CIA killed me and replaced me with a Robert Anton Wilson android. And having read a lot of Philip K. Dick, I knew if that was true, I'd be the last one to know it because, as Phil Dick pointed out, a fully functioning android would have to believe it was whoever it was supposed to be acting like. So if I was an android pretending to be Robin Anton Wilson, I would think I am Robin Anton Wilson. See, surrounded by epistemological quandaries like that, how can my mental life ever cease? I've always got something to wonder about. I swear to God, I wasn't the one who suggested the CIA. That was somebody else. It sounds like something I might have thought, but I didn't. I have been responsible for getting into print and online about 20 times now the report that the face on Mars has definitely been identified by computer enhancement of the photographs. And this has been done by Professor Timothy F.X. Finnegan of the Royal Sir Miles Nagopoline Astronomalistic Society in Dalkey, Ireland. And well, it turns out to be Moishe Horowitz, who can now be considered a major influence on two planets. I never give a show business name. I leave readers to figure that out for themselves. Moishe Horowitz was the birth name of Mo Howard of the Three Stooges. And as a matter of fact, if you look at most photographs of the face on Mars, it looks more like Mo Howard than anyone else. Well, at least to me. Somebody actually published a whole book arguing the face on Mars was Elvis Presley. At least I know when I'm joking. I think that guy probably believed his own theory.
Bob, how many kids have you had?
4.
And one marriage, correct?
That's right, yeah. Well, I didn't need more than one marriage. The first one worked fine. It's still working.
How is that?
I know everything I do. I know what, not everything. She was a bit unpredictable, all intelligent people are, but most of the things I do or say or look at on television, I know what her opinion of them would be, so it's like she's still living with me.
You're still having an interaction?
Yeah, we're still interacting. And you don't have to be spiritualistic about it. Our nervous systems imprinted each other over a 42-year period. So she's still here. I don't feel out of touch with her entirely, somewhat, but not entirely. And she's in most of my dreams. I had a weird dream last night where we were at a party, and we were dancing. And there was nothing in the dream to make me think it was odd that she should be alive. In the dream, I forgot she was dead, and I forgot that I'm disabled and can't dance. And we're dancing, and then I noticed that nobody else was dancing. It was all old friends, and they all were walking on canes. And I said to Harlan, you know, we're getting old. We're going to be walking on canes someday ourselves. And then I woke up and realized, well, the dream had just reversed reality. George Carlin says that when people tell me you're getting older, I say, bullshit, I'm getting old, let's face it.
Did you talk to the illustrious Dr. Leary before he passed on?
Yes, and I'd be happy to tell that story. It's one of my favorites of all my Leary anecdotes. I was visiting him as often as I could in the last months, and the last time everybody knew he only had a few weeks, days, nobody was sure. And as I left, I said, Timothy, I want to tell you, I've met Buckminster Fuller, and I still think you're the most intelligent man I ever met. I've met George Carlin, and I still think you're the funniest man I ever met. And Timothy, sitting there in his wheelchair, grinned at me and said, Bob, you're an excellent judge of character. That's my, well, no, I got another favorite Leary. I got 100 favorite Leary stories, but I'll let you off with just one more. A month after his death, I got an email from him. It said,